Part 2, latest immigration news, part 2. Okay, so I want to continue because remember the first one, because it was too long, I decided to just stop on litigations. If you want to know what is going on with those litigations, what executive order is being litigated in court, you can watch my part 1, okay, which I posted today. So I'm going to post this one too after I'm done recording. We want to go into the latest immigration news, what's really going on. Let me just share my screen so we can get right into it. Um, yeah, so we can get right into it. It is what it is. So, okay. I know my voice is not fully back, but I'm trying to practice because if I don't practice, it might be gone forever. Okay. Anyway, so let's share the screen here so we can go right into it. Okay. So, policy tracker, that's where you know, right, what's going on. We have, you can go on immigration policy tracking project. We have 129 policy actions. Most of them we already went over. Just want to go over the new ones, okay? DHS revokes 80 millions in FEMA funds allocated to New York City to house migrants and fires FEMA officials involved in transfer. Remember when we had the flux of migrants crossing the border, they used to send migrants in different states. And one of those states was New York. And then they had money to just help people, right? Now, with this new administration, they revoke that funding. Okay, it was about 80 millions. Yeah, the DHS reversed the transfer of 80 million in FEMA funds allocated to New York City to help fund shelter for migrants. Remember, if you were watching the news, it was this one actually happened under Biden. Okay, you will see a lot of people in airports. You see a lot of people all over the places. And finally, in New York, what they did, they were housing people in hotels because they got the funding, right? But now with this administration, they just stopped the funding, revoke it. That's it. It's over. That's the first news. The second news, we have the DHS asks Treasury to deputize IRS criminal investigators to assist in immigration enforcement. You see, this is really bad. Why? Because if IRS is involved, then which means that when people file fraudulent taxes, they're gonna get caught uh, easily. I used to tell people, if you're married, just file jointly married. Why will a person uh, not file jointly married? Okay, why would a person not file jointly married? If the person doesn't file jointly married, then um, what's going to happen is uh, it's going to basically trigger the USCIS, and they might feel like this person has a fraudulent case. And you know how fraudulent goes, then you get a denial, then the case gets referred to court, then you get deported. So this is really bad news anyway. But what they're saying is that the Wall Street Journal report that DHS Secretary Christy Noem sent a memo, sorry, dated February 7, requesting that the Department of Treasury deputize some law enforcement workers, including IRS criminal investigators, to assist in immigration enforcement. You see, IRS criminal investigators. If the people who works for IRS in the criminal department, where people commit fraud with taxes, they will enforce immigration department. Immigration laws, basically, they will be sending the names of those people to ICE. IRS agents will help investigate financial flows involving human trafficking networks and businesses that employ undocumented immigrants. They're going to investigate human traffickers and then businesses that employ illegal immigrants. Agent will also authorize to help arrest, detain, and transport people. You see, but it doesn't just stop there to employer that employ undocumented immigrants. It goes to the actual immigrant who files fraudulent taxes. It's gonna extend to all that. So that's just what the language of the memo says, but basically it's pretty much everybody they're going to investigate. If IRS is on your case, they flag it. That's what's happened. They will flag the case. Once they flag the case, and then they will report. And now they're just giving them permission to actually investigate, right? On employers who hire undocumented immigrants, which make it really hard for somebody to hire somebody without document. And then human trafficking network. I want to reiterate on this particular issue because we had a case where there was a guy who's now deported back in the DRC because of fraudulent taxes. It's a felony, basically, if you defraud the government for 10,000 or more. It's really a felony, and with felony, it's a mandatory detention and deportation. So they tried to fight it. It didn't work. Now he's home. And they tried to reopen the case. I told them, do not reopen the case because it's going to lead to another, the same thing. Try to wait at least for 5 years, then try with the waiver by filing the form I-1-212. But, people don't listen. They hire somebody else to do the job. But guess what? The case is still denied, order removed as of recent, which makes the clock back in terms of the person already had 2 years before. Now they're starting over with the new removal date. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. ICE utilizing federal prison for immigration detention. Wow. Yeah, because they don't really have a lot of detention centers. And they can, if a person has been ordered removed, they can't detain the person for more than 120 days. They have to either release that person under order of supervision or remove the person after 120 days. So maybe they don't have capacity to hold all those people. Now they're using a prison to house immigrants detained during recent immigration enforcement actions, which is really bad. What else? Yeah, so this one came actually on February 7th. This was big news all over how do you call it? TikTok. Oh my gosh. So the president, okay, he signed Executive Order 14204 addressing egregious action of the Republic of South Africa, rebuking South Africa recently enacted Expropriation Act, which repels, which repels an apartheid era law, and in certain circumstances allow the government to acquire privately held land. In South Africa, they have this problem with land because of the apartheid. And now what the president is saying that he not to provide aid or assist to South Africa. So basically, this policy will not provide aid or assist South Africa, and to promote the resettlement of Afrikaner refugees. Those are white people, right, who are in South Africa who want to escape. Then they're gonna help them. come to America, if they because they think it's a race-based discrimination. I have my own opinion that I'll keep for myself, but let's just move along. But this is what is happening. Remember, the president stopped the refugee programs, which is in federal court for litigation. But now he's starting a new program just targeting South African refugees, the white one, to come. It's like this is just like a contradiction to all that. But anyway, so that's the news. Oh my gosh. New York City mayor issues guidance instructing city workers to allow ICE warrantless entry in certain circumstances. Okay. Issue guidance for migrant shelter operator, including an exception to ICE warrantless entry. Reasonably treated. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this mayor of New York, if you're watching the news, basically what's happening with him is like he asked the Trump administration to drop his charges because he was charged with a lot of fraud. But when he saw that Trump was going to win, and finally Trump won the election, start collaborating with the Trump administration. That pretty much saying that we're going to collaborate in terms of removing undocumented immigrants from New York, blah blah blah, and that's why basically they actually trying to drop his this new Department of Justice trying to drop his charges, and now he came up with a memo, and he's clarifying the memo. It's like so contradictory. If a person does not have a warrant, they cannot get inside. That's just period. That's what law says. Anyway, oh, this is okay. That could be interesting. Let's see. This is about language in immigration court requiring basically interpretation. They're resenting the old memo. Now they have a new memo, pretty much saying that, clarifying that the respondent may not need language access services because the people speak English. They might not need it, or they might waive it. They might choose to waive it. Um, the judge basically does not have to ask them of their preferences. In other words, they just want to restrict access to language services. They feel like it's a waste. Um, but yeah, that's what is going on. Yeah, those are we already know that, right? This old one. Yeah, immigration officer may check immigration status of student traveling on school buses through CBP checkpoint. Yeah. Somebody was asking me about traveling outside of, inside of the United States. Just know that the real ID Act is going to take effect on May 7, I believe, 2025. So you have to have a ID compliant in order to travel. Even now, you still have to have the one that is compliant with federal requirements in order to travel within the state. Yeah, by airplane, of course. Yeah, so let me stop here first and see if I have another news. Then I can share the screen again. Wow, this is crazy. Okay, let's talk about travel warning because yeah, let's talk about travel warning. Okay, travel warning. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about travel warning. I'm going to share my screen here. 1 minute. So I'm going to share it again so we can talk about travel warning. Okay, this is the late update to travel. Okay, update to travel warning. Okay, there's something that's happening where individual with pending notice to appear encountered at the time of requesting admission are automatically now subject to detention by CBP or enforcement removal operation, ERO. If you have a notice to appear and you happen to be in court because you're defending the fact that the I-751 was denied, that's why you've been issued the notice to appear. But because the case is still pending, you are able to renew, right, your like extend the, basically you apply for illegal permanent residence and conditional permanent residence in removal proceeding, even with a valid stamp issued post the form I-751 denial. Remember that when people apply for the form I-751 to remove conditions on the green card, what was happening was because it was taking too long, they would get a receipt, right? And if they don't get a receipt, people will get a stamp on the passport showing that they are conditional resident until otherwise, right? But then you've been issued a notice to appear. Some people were traveling under Biden even when the case was still pending with the immigration court. But now what's happening is that, first of all, it's a warning, don't do it, because they are being subject to detention by CBP and enforcement removal operations. So it's like automatic, like at the airport when you try to come back. It just shows that you have a notice to appear in the system. They don't care. Yeah. Okay. Until CPP receive guidance, I'll talk about it. Colombia should expect enhanced screening. Entry requiring admission via port parole should not be expected as they are being authorized exceedingly sparkling and have higher level of review. Parole too. It's kind of like the double checking. Entry with I-512 advanced parole should be cautious. Yeah. And then individual of notice to appear that were issued prior to travel should consider not traveling at all. Yeah. If you're in removal, clearly just don't do it. But people used to do it because the assumption is the case is still pending. Conditional green card was denied, of course, but the extension was still valid. So now we have to, the court has to decide on the case. I can still travel. It used to be like that, but just don't do it anymore. That's it. And then the 4-for-You program has been halted as well. That's the United for Ukraine. That's Pahol. Yeah. So this is crazy. Expedite removal. Who is impacted on the expedite removal? Okay. Yeah, I was trying to see which one I can talk about. Let me talk about expedite removal. Expedite removal, okay? I want to see this guidance. I can see if I can talk about something here about expedite removal, okay? This was updated, okay? What is expedited removal? Okay, first of all, expedited removal is a process by which immigration officer can remove certain non-citizen administratively and rapidly without a hearing. That's when they remove you without going to court. That's just in simple terms, that's expedited removal. Okay. Who expedited removal apply to? Okay, changes to expedited removal under the current Trump administration. Non-citizen and inadmissible or removal due to misrepresentation or lack of valid visa or entry document. Okay, who is actually the target? You have to be a non-citizen who you are not admissible to the United States, or you were admissible but now you're removable due to misrepresentation or lack of valid visa or entry document. That was like in general, right? So current policy, non-citizen are counted at port of entry or anywhere in the United States. Right now, anywhere in the United States. It used to be just at the port, at the border. Expedited removal used to apply just for people at the border. Now, anywhere, okay? And if you are unable to demonstrate continuous physical presence for the 2 years period immediately prior to the date of the determination that you are inadmissible. Yeah, you have to be able to show that you've been here for more than 2 years before they actually arrest you, right? So you have to demonstrate that. If you've been here for more than 2 years, then you are not subject to expedited removal. If you've been less than 2 years and you happen to be inadmissible or removable due to representation or lack of valid visa, due to misrepresentation or lack of valid visa, yeah, removable. Okay. Uh, Expedited removal does not apply to non-citizens who are charged with any other ground of removability or inadmissibility other than that. If you've been charged for something else, you other than this one, then you're not subject. Children are not, who are not accompanied by somebody, not. Non-citizen where the non-citizen arrive by aircraft. Let's say you come by the port of entry, like by airplane, and the United States does not have full diplomatic relation with the country of citizenship. Two things has to be met here, right? Okay, sorry. Oh, I'm really having a hard time, but I'm just gonna do it so I can push through, so I can get my voice back. Applicant for admission under the visa waiver program. Those are the people who can come to the US for 3 months. They're not subject. Remember, some people come to the US without visa for 90 days. They're not subject to that, not. US lawful permanent resident, refugee, or asylee who have not had their status terminated. Non-citizen with approved petition like U visa. Yeah, somebody asked about that. U visa, can I be removed? No. If you have approved U visa, of course. Non-citizen, they are permitted to withdraw the application for admission. Individuals who are admitted or parole, okay? They're not subject. And then you can fight it. That's when, you know, the lawyer come into play, so to help you fight that. Okay. What else we're going to talk about here? Okay, I guess this is it, right? Let me see if I can talk about something else here. Yeah, the H-1B initial registration already is going to start on March 7. Yeah, TPS for Venezuela is gone, that we know. That's it, right? Those are the main issues. And then we know deportation is still going on all over the places. Know your rights. We talked about it. You can watch my latest video, ICE raids. That's the title. If you need the consultation again, you can always schedule it using the consultation link in the bio, so we can go over your case and help you out. So I'm trying to regain my voice fully. Until then, I'm not doing live sessions, so it's just gonna get me tired. So until I regain my voice fully, I am not gonna be live, but I'm gonna update if there's something to update. And I am going to be doing short TikTok. If I don't do TikTok this weekend, then I'll do it next week. Please follow me on TikTok, IG, YouTube, Facebook page. All the links are in the description box. Until next time, bye bye. Have a great weekend. I think this is it for the weekend. I will resume again next week. Till next time, bye bye. Make sure you follow so you don't get you stay informed. We pretty much did everything that's going on in terms of, in general, the main point. Watch part 1, watch part 2. We're not really missing anything, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make some short videos on TikTok. That's why you need to follow, okay? And if you need the consultation, just please schedule it. Schedule it. If you need a quotation for a price, you can email me. I can give you the price in general. But if you need the consultation for a specific case, just schedule it, okay? Until next time, bye-bye. I'll start with consultation on Tuesday, because tomorrow I have to check with the doctor to see what's going on with my voice, my only asset. Okay, until next time, bye-bye.